So we've been talking a lot about education and research and education today, how they are most impactful together. And this is also very much relevant for doctoral training. What a better way than to proceed with the finals of the 3-minute thesis competition. Before I introduce you briefly to the rules, let me just recap that doctoral training has both aspects of research and education. So we are discussing that quite often in the doctoral studies training group, and we are also discussing whether the title doctoral studies is still relevant, everything like that. I don't want to go into any details with that, but I was just like listening closely today in the morning, and we saw this controversy also on stage earlier, when Tina Delva from the European Commission mentioned that she wants to fight polarization and research is influencing education, while education is also influencing research. That was quite something that I can agree to, yet there was a strong advocating for a European degree also for the doctoral training level, which seems to be a formalization, and that was actually what Professor Ugla also said, that we do not really need any more formalization, but we cannot also separately look at education and research. And so we don't really want to put that into boxes right now, because after all, doctoral training is qualification by research, and that's what we want to also acknowledge with this competition. So the 3-minute thesis competition celebrates the exciting research that is conducted by early career researchers at all of our universities. And it also, at the same time, cultivates skills, the skill development of the early career researchers, academic skills, obviously, and scientific presentation skills, research communication skills, talking to an audience that is not really from the same background. And this is a task that they have to do that in 3 minutes, only to a non-specialist audience, which is you today. So you're very important that you are here. So as for the impact, I highly advise you to have a look at the poster of the Doctoral Studies Working Group on the topic of the conference, because there are quotes of the last 3 finalists, or the winners of the 3-minute thesis competition of the Coimbra group, on how the competition and the participation in it impacted on their careers. And it's really, really interesting to read, because they all said that it had a major impact on how they communicate in different contexts. One of them is now a medical doctor, and he relates that it's still very helpful also for him talking to patients. One is an engineer now, and she is also in academia, and she still thinks that's a very good way to do it. So please have a look at those quotes. It's very, very interesting, and I hope that it has also a very positive effect on the 3 finalists from today's competition. So let me briefly go through the rules with you, so that you know what you now have to keep an eye on, or ear on, better said. So it's a competition which was developed by the University of Queensland, and it's the 8th time that we are running this competition within the Coimbra group. We have 25 Coimbra Group universities that turned in an entry video of their finalists, so which is quite amazing out of 40 member universities to have such a high participation rate. And then after an eligibility check, the universities were asked to vote for the favorite presentations, and 30 universities voted. So you are not only allowed to vote if you participate with an entry, you can also vote if you haven't participated with an entry. The voters were asked to assign respectively 3, 2, and 1 points to the favorite 3 presentations, and the 3 entries with the highest points were invited to participate live today here at the finals. Universities are not allowed to vote for their own university, just like to make that clear. So all of the entries, they needed to explain the research in 3 minutes only in a language appropriate to a non-specialist audience, and the competitors were allowed one slide, but no other resources. A little bit more in detail, it's here, like a single slide. That also means no transitions, no animations, no movement of any kind. It's just like static, and also no additional media, no sound files, no video files. The persons have to come on stage the way they are usually dressed, not with additional props, no costumes, no lab equipment or whatever. And it's a very, very strict time limit, 3 minutes maximum. Whoever is exceeding the 3 minutes is unfortunately disqualified, but I'm quite confident that this will not happen today. So the presentation will be in spoken word, no poems, raps, songs, and any other kind of presentation. And it begins here from stage. Yeah, it starts, we will have a short technical check before, and then it starts when they are ready. So, and we have a judging panel, and the decision of that panel is actually final. So who is in the judging panel today? It's 5 persons with different backgrounds and different positions. We have Antonella Follini from the University of Pavia. He's a member of the executive board. We have Sverre Ole Drønen from the University of Bergen. He's in science policy, science communication, and global relations. Elisa Pinter, here from the University of Turku. She's also the vice chair of the Doctoral Studies Working Group. And Monika Taza from the University of Tartu, and she's also a member of the Doctoral Studies Working Group. And Giulia Marina Ligini, a professor of organic chemistry from the University of Padua, and member of the STEM working group. So these are the persons who have the very difficult task to come up with who is giving the best presentation today. I don't really want to be in their shoes, but well, you can check on whether they are doing a good job by knowing what the judging criteria are, and there are 2 sets of judging criteria. The first set is on comprehension and content. So there are some questions that help you to understand what the judgment is based on. Like, for instance, does the presentation provide an understanding of the background and significance of the research question being addressed? Explaining terminology and avoiding jargon. So also the second one, did the presentation clearly describe the impact and or results of the research, including conclusions and outcomes? You cannot just like be right at the beginning of the PhD and present a plan that may possibly work or not, but you need to have already results, and you have to present these today, and also what the PhD is about. Of course, it should follow a clear and logical sequence, and did you get the thesis topic, the research significance, the results, impact, outcomes? Is it communicated in language that is appropriate to your understanding? And did the presenter spend adequate time on each element? So these are some questions on the first set of judging criteria, comprehension and content. And then we have the second set of judging criteria, engagement and communication. Do you want to know more about this topic? Question that every one of you can ask yourself. Was the presenter careful not to trivialize or generalize the research? Did the presenter convey enthusiasm for the research? Was your attention captured, maintained throughout the whole presentation? And did the speaker have sufficient stage presence, eye contact, vocal range? Well, and last but not least, the slide. Did it enhance the presentation? Was it clear, legible, and concise? So this is basically all. I hope you get a feeling now for what the judging is all about, and all the things that need to be taken care of. And we will now actually start with presentation. With first presentation, the order is drawn randomly, so it's no clue on how the placement was after the online voting period. And the first one who I welcome on stage is actually Princess Kabutare from the University of Uppsala. Welcome on stage. Princess Caboretare is from the research area of chemistry, and the title of today's 3-minute thesis presentation will be Learning from Nature, Turning Air into Electricity. And before we start, we will do just a small check whether the mic is working.
Yes. Mic test, 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me? Yeah.
Everything's fine. So whenever you are ready, then I just give a small command so that the time, because you were able to follow it, the timer is started correctly. So it's ready, set, and go.
Good afternoon, everyone. I want you all to take a deep breath. Now exhale. What if the air you just breathe in can charge your phone or power your car? With the climate crisis, this isn't just a dream. It's a necessity. I believe the key might be hydrogen. Hydrogen's so mighty, it delivers a punch 3 times stronger than gasoline. And when it burns, it doesn't pollute the air. But why isn't it powering our devices yet? Because getting energy from hydrogen is like playing a game where it costs you more points to play than you could win. The energy input is so much larger than the energy output. We also need expensive and hard-to-find metals to speed up the process. My job is to find ways to use hydrogen efficiently, but with cheaper and easy-to-find metals like nickel and iron. And my guide is nature, particularly its own tiny machines called enzymes. Nature has created enzymes to turn hydrogen in the air into food or energy for bacteria. Some of these bacteria are so tough that they can survive without oxygen, without water, just hydrogen, thanks to these special enzymes. Meet Huck, one of the enzymes that I study. By putting Huck into an electrical circuit, I found that it can create electricity, even from the tiny amount of hydrogen in the air. This is special because other enzymes need a lot of hydrogen to do the same job. Using powerful microscopes, we found that 1, Huck acts like a filter. It filters out unwanted gases and only lets hydrogen pass through. Using powerful microscopes, we also found out that inside Huck are parts that act like a car's engine, maximizing the extraction and conversion process. The best part is this engine is made up of simple metals like nickel and iron. I strongly believe this is a game changer because 1, we can use Huck to turn clean fuel into electricity instead of burning fossil fuels. And 2, we can use Huck to inspire the design of electrical devices that could run on the air we breathe. So, I believe nature is the best hydrogen engineer. Again, I want you all to take a deep breath and exhale. Remember, you are inhaling a potential game changer in our energy landscape, and we might be on the verge of using it for a cleaner future. Thank you.
Well done, an excellent start for our competition. We are actually now moving forward to a technical, challenging new thing. Our second competitor is not present today, and we exceptionally allowed her to participate online because, well, it is Rachel Hare from the University of Bristol, and she has a health condition which is not allowing her to travel at the moment to Turku. So, but she deserves to be in the finals anyway because she was one of the 3 candidates with the most votes. So she is now in a room at the University of Bristol, and there are people with her from the university overlooking that everything is also according to rules. So welcome to Bristol. Welcome to the finals from Bristol, Rachel. So Rachel is from the research area of English, and the title of her 3-minute thesis presentation today is The Art of the Swoon. And before we start, we should also do a very short technical check that we can hear you properly. Can you just say something like a test?
Test, 1, 2, 3.
Perfect. We can hear you loud and clear. So then also best of luck to you, and I give you just a short command, and then the time will count down, and you can start with your presentations. So ready, set, and go.
When we think about the art of the swoon, we tend to think of images like this one from Bridgerton. Cressida faints gracefully into the prince's arms. Swoons show gender norms in action, don't they? The weak woman is overcome, but the heroic man rescues her. But what if I told you that swooning wasn't always considered feminine? In medieval romance, it's often the bravest knights who pass out from love. For them, fainting isn't feminizing. It's part of a masculine ideal which glorifies men who fight and feel intensely. So what changed? And why does it matter? My research explores fainting in English plays staged from around the time Shakespeare started writing in the 1580s to 1642. Although these audiences continued to enjoy displays of male passion, the social norms increasingly required them to control their bodies and emotions. And we see this tension in the way they stage faint. So that when the heroes swoon, playwrights often go to great lengths to ensure they aren't emasculated. Shakespeare's Orlando at the top of the slide has just fought a snake and a lioness. Shakespeare excuses this moment of weakness by pairing it with multiple moments of strength. Other men's feints are comic, even shameful. So my research has shown that male feints are acceptable in some circumstances, but not others. By exploring medical and marriage texts alongside the literature, I offer new insights into the period's anxieties about who is allowed or expected to show weakness. And we can use these ideas to explore our own gender anxieties too. Because it isn't only Bridgerton ladies that swoon, and the fact we think of them reflects our perceptions of bodily and emotional vulnerability, especially in men. This even affects Harry Potter, who feels ashamed that he faints after a genuinely traumatic Dementor attack. By exploring the art of the swoon, we realize that the ways we inhabit our bodies and emotions are shaped by social narratives of who we think we should be. And perhaps we can use this knowledge to change our gender expectations, waking up to ideas that are as diverse and dynamic as we are. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rachel. Perfectly on time. That was exciting to see the countdown. And I hope you will be able to follow the rest of the competition also from Bristol. Thank you. Yeah, so now we move on already to the third and last presentation of today, which is Sylvia Lasnik, who I will welcome live on stage now again. So Sylvia is from the University of Graz, and her research area are English and American studies. Well, the title of her 3-minute thesis presentation will be Dragon-Proof Teaching, Slaying Native Speakerism. But we have a short technical problem because on the screen here, on the stage screen, there's the Rachel, which is nice to see, but Sylvia needs to see her presentation and the timer.
And they need to see it.
Okay, so because it's not about guessing the time, but seeing actually how much you have left, so it's very important that all the competitors also see the timer with the time going down. So now everything is on the screen, that's perfect. Can we do a short technical check?
Yes, 1, 2, 3, test.
Okay, so you are ready? Then ready, set, and go.
English is not my first language. However, I've always been really passionate about it, and I learned it for many years, becoming quite good at it, I think, and I decided to become a teacher of English because I wanted to spread my passion to other people. So I completed teacher training at university, and there I was, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, ready to conquer the linguistic battlefield of the classroom when, all of a sudden, a creature appears. A horrifying beast, a dragon called native speakerism, whispering in my ear that, "You're a fraud, you're no good." Because the only ones who can truly teach English are the mythical native speakers. A highly problematic term, I should add. And I asked myself, what is this ancient creature doing here in the 21st century? Well, as I had to find out, we are the ones feeding it. We are keeping it alive with a poison of 3 special ingredients. Number 1, our obsession with accents, because a British or American accent is still the ultimate language accessory when it comes to English. Number 2, deeply rooted cultural bias, suggesting there is a hierarchy among users of English. And number 3, the myth of linguistic intuition, suggesting that there is some sort of knowledge encoded in somebody's DNA that cannot be learned later. Well, I think we should stop feeding it. And this is where my research comes in. I collected data from 120 teachers across Austria through questionnaires and interviews, and very soon I started to realize that English still is not taught as the global language it now really is. It became apparent that the stereotypes that the dragon really loves are being reproduced day in, day out in the classroom, forming a vicious cycle that's very hard to break. So we need a remedy, and my research suggests that we need ingredient 1, didactics that focus more on communicative competence, because language is about so much more than just words. Number 2, the awareness that somebody's accent does not mean they can't speak a language that well. And number 3, the knowledge that diverse linguistic perspectives are a key 21st century skill. So let's break those stereotypes and slay the dragon for good.
Well, thank you very much. We had 3 excellent presentations, all representing their exciting research from different fields. It's a coincidence that it's 3 female researchers, but that's also quite a nice thing to discover. And I hope the jury has now some time to deliberate and come up with a suggestion. We will hear the results after the next session, which will be the panel session with the European University Alliances, and I'm looking forward to it. So we'll see each other again in a little bit. I think it's 2 hours or 1.5 hours. Thank you.
So please don't leave, because now we have the most important thing of the afternoon. With the jury for the 3-minute thesis competition arrived to a final decision. So we heard before our 3 finalists. Let me just name them: Princess Kobotaye, Raquel Hare, and Sylvia Lasnik. Honestly, it was very, very difficult for the jury to arrive to a conclusion. All the 3 students were very, 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 very good, both in science as well as in communication. So I'm not sure if the students should come up on the stage, or if they will arrive when I will nominate them. So they should come. Yes. So let's wait for them to arrive. Maybe they were hiding at the bar. Okay. Okay, please. So, Silvia. And then we should have also Princess from this side. Okay, they make my life difficult. Okay, and we should have connected also Rachel. Do we have Rachel on Zoom? Yes, no? We don't? Okay, so we miss one candidate. But, so congratulations, great job. I think that all of us really enjoy your presentation. I'm pretty sure that you will be very good scientists and very good in public engagement as well, because you really catch our attention. Very difficult to make decision. Honestly, all the jury agree in give to all of you guys the first, but it's not possible. So, I hate to do that. I hate to rank, but, well, it's life, right? So they told me that I cannot do third, second, and first. So let me congratulate with the winner. Here it is. And the winner is Sylvia Lasnik. Before the pictures, I think we need to motivate. So you really satisfies the jury in terms of science. You identify the problem, you find solution. You were very good on keep our attention for all the time. We were able to follow you. So I think that it was like a common, really common decision to award you the first prize. One more applause. Okay. But as I said before, that doesn't mean that the other two candidates were less good. So we also have well, kind of something for you as well. Okay. And before me to put in the middle and take the pictures, I want to make a couple of comments that among the jury we discussed. We were really pleased that this year we have a variety of disciplines. And although these make a challenge for us to compare one with the other, I think it's really a good thing that students from a variety of disciplines, and not only always the scientific one, are actually applying, and they were able to arrive at the finals today. So I think it's a good success for this event, and I'm sure that it will continue in the future. We have also Raquel here. So, well, I see her in the screen. You don't see her, but she's there. So, all right. So, Raquel, probably you don't see me, but you also have something for you to be present in this event as a finalist. So we will mail to you this. And now I think it's time for pictures. I love that.